Archbishop.
A great loss for the world and for the church, and our hearts mourn today as this great Pope went home to the Lord. He wanted to be there for Easter, and he was. He was there for Easter, spoke to the world, roamed around St. Peter's Square. How beautiful, right? And then I think the Lord said, Pope Francis, good work. The work has been completed now. He's been called home on the first day after Easter. What a beautiful day for the Lord to call him back home. But we, the world and the church, we mourn because he was an amazing Pope and touched Philadelphia in an amazing way as he visited Philadelphia for the World Meeting of Families in 2015, celebrated Mass at this very altar. So all those things come to our hearts today as it's a day of sadness, but as Christians also a day of hope and a day of joy, because we just celebrated the resurrection of Christ, and now the Pope is in that life, the life that he gave his life to, because he believed, and he had hope. He called this year to be a Jubilee year of hope, and our hope is actually rooted in the very death and the resurrection of Christ that now the Holy Father is immersed in and taken up in. So we're grateful to God for this wonderful Pope that he has given us, and we thank him for the gift that he's been to the church, and in particular here in Philadelphia. I was here in Philadelphia when he visited. It will be a memorable moment that will be etched in the heart of every Philadelphian.
What message would you want those within the faith to take away in regards to Pope Francis and who he was?
Pope Francis taught us by his simplicity, he taught us to love and to have joy, and to believe in the power of encounter. Those were kind of words that were really powerful for him, calling us to love, to be joyful, and to know the mystery of encounter with the Lord through people. I myself, in a very particular way, have always been drawn to his description of the church as a community of missionary disciples, which he described as a community of believers, of disciples that take initiative, that accompany people, that is fruitful, that is joyful. In particular, I've always been held that very fond in my own heart. He was certainly a Pope of the people. He spoke about us bishops having the smell of the sheep. What an image, right? To have the smell of the sheep, to be around the sheep. And he was. I was there in Rome many times and watched him amidst the crowd, probably driving his security detail crazy, but he wanted to be among the people, picking up children, hugging people, touching people. He touched our hearts. So he called us, the church, in particular, us bishops, to have the smell of the sheep. To have the smell of the sheep. He spoke about the dignity of the human person and how that dignity comes from the fact that we have been created by God, and we have dignity rooted in being in God's image and likeness. Respect for life, respect for people, respect for family. What a gift, right? What a gift.
You mentioned that he was the people's Pope, and that 10 years ago he came here with the message of hope. But how can people get to that point of optimism with his passing and as they mourn?
Well, the Christian people are actually people rooted in hope, right? Our hope is rooted in the fact that Jesus died and rose, right? That it lies at the center of what it means to be a Christian. That's what was at the center of Pope Francis' heart. All the time, every day, that's what he gave his life to. And he stands before the world and will always stand before the world, calling us to that mystery, right? Rooted in hope. That's why he declared this year, which will now become the last year of his life, as the Jubilee of Hope, right? I myself will be traveling to Rome on Wednesday night, and to be a pilgrim of hope, with people from the Archdiocese. We're rooted actually in that hope and the mystery of the resurrection that we Christians celebrated all over the world less than 24 hours ago.
What will the Archdiocese be doing in the coming days and weeks to honor his life?
So today I'll be celebrating here at the Cathedral at 12:05 a Mass for Pope Francis and thanksgiving for his life and the gift that he is for the world and for the church and for the repose of his soul. And we'll be praying. The Cathedral will be open all day, as it always is, for the faithful to come and to pray for the Holy Father and reflect on the message of this Pope who called us to hope and called us to joy.
Let me ask you one more thing in regards to the fact that you said the Pope of the people, and literally yesterday he was with the people. Do you feel as though this is the way that he would have wanted it to end?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt, the way he would have wanted it to end was the way it did, right? He completed his mission. And yesterday we all saw him, right? Roaming in the Pope Mobile around St. Peter's Square, something that he loved to do, and probably didn't know he was doing it for the last time, but I think this is the way he would want to be remembered for the world and to the world. As a Pope among the people, a Pope of the people, he certainly had the smell of the sheep.
You mentioned the visit in 2015. What do you think that meant to Catholics in Philadelphia and in America?
I think for the church back then, and it continues to be, his visit to Philadelphia during the World Meeting of Families was an affirmation of the church in the United States. And he came here with such great joy. I was blessed to be in New York, here in Philly, and in Washington when he came, and how people gathered. The church had been through tough times, and it was a healing moment. It was a healing moment for the church in the United States and the church here in Philadelphia. I remember coming here. I was a bishop on Long Island at the time, and I felt proud for Philadelphia.
I think we all did. Great words from Archbishop Pérez there, and a quick reminder that he mentioned the noon Mass again. I mean, officially starting at 12:05, but people are already showing at the Basilica to just, remember Pope Francis.
They just want to pay their respects because he really touched this city when he came to visit, and people have not forgotten that, despite the fact that it's been 10 years. Yeah.
Memories that will last forever.